Every great structure begins not with stone, steel, or wood, but with a vision carefully drawn on a blueprint. The architect's plan determines the height of the building, the shape of the rooms, the strength of the foundation. Without the blueprint, there is only chaos and confusion. In the same way, your financial life is built upon the invisible architecture of your words. Every statement you speak about money is like a line drawn on the plan of your future. You may not see the building rising yet, but the design is already in progress. When you say, money is scarce, I never have enough, wealth is for other people but not for me, you are sketching out a structure of lack. That blueprint leaves no room for expansion, no windows for opportunity, no doors for wealth to enter. And when life constructs it, you wonder why the house feels small, confined, and limiting. But when you declare, I am abundant, money flows to me with ease, my supply is endless and ever increasing, you are drafting a palace of prosperity, a mansion of opportunity. The foundation is wide, the ceilings are high, and the rooms are filled with light. Life has no choice but to construct the building you designed with your words. Words are not empty. They are charged with creative force. They carry the vibration that shapes your reality. They are the unseen lines, the silent measurements, the hidden scaffolding upon which your financial life is built. Just as no builder would ignore a blueprint, you cannot afford to ignore the language you use about money. Every careless phrase becomes part of the design. Every complaint chisels lack into the foundation. Every affirmation draws new wings and expansions into your mansion of prosperity. Therefore, guard your words as you would guard precious blueprints. Speak only those phrases that create wealth, that call in abundance, that design a life of freedom and supply. Each time you say, I am wealthy, I am provided for, I prosper in all I do, you are sketching the corridors of financial freedom. Each time you affirm gratitude for what you have, you are adding strength to the walls of your prosperity. Remember, your words today are not fleeting sounds. They are architectural commands. They are shaping the blueprint of your tomorrow. And the building that will rise before you will be the exact reflection of the language you use today. Every word you speak goes forth like a sound released into a great canyon, and just as surely as sound returns as an echo, your words come back to you multiplied. When you declare, I can't afford it, money never stays with me, life is hard, those words do not vanish into thin air. They travel into the unseen, they reverberate through the atmosphere, and they return to you as circumstances, as bills, as missed opportunities, as evidence that proves your declaration true. The echo of poverty answers to the cry of poverty. The echo of lack responds faithfully to the language of lack. But the law works just as powerfully in the direction of prosperity. Speak, money flows to me with ease, wealth surrounds me, opportunities chase after me. And those words also travel out into the universe. They strike against the unseen walls of divine law, and they return as the echo of abundance. Suddenly doors open that were once closed. Resources appear from unexpected channels. People and ideas align themselves to your good. The echo of prosperity comes back singing the song you first released. You cannot cry out for lack and expect the echo of abundance. You cannot complain about debt and hope the canyon answers with wealth. Life is perfectly just. It reflects back what you send forth. Your words are the signal, and your experiences are the echo. If you don't like what's coming back to you, change what you're sending out. The most dangerous thing is that many do not even notice the words they speak. They treat their declarations carelessly, as if words were cheap and powerless. But words are never neutral. Each one is a seed with a harvest, each one a note in a song that must be returned. You may not see the echo instantly, but it is on its way. Just as sound takes a moment to bounce back from the canyon walls, so your words may take a little time to manifest, but they will always return. Therefore, let your speech be filled with words of life, words of supply, words of wealth and gratitude. Say daily, I am richly supplied, money finds me everywhere, abundance is my birthright. Release them with faith and joy, and listen as life begins to echo back prosperity in every corner of your existence. The echo cannot lie, it must repeat what you send, and the choice is always yours. Will you speak poverty, or will you declare prosperity? The tongue is far more powerful than most people realize. It is not merely an organ of speech. It is the invisible pen that writes the story of your life, line by line, page by page, chapter by chapter. Every word that passes your lips is ink that sinks into the parchment of your subconscious mind, and once written, the subconscious is faithful to bring that script to life. It does not question, it does not argue, it does not decide what is true or false. It simply records and manifests. Think of it this way: when you say, "I'll never get ahead," that phrase is inscribed upon the inner pages of your money story. The subconscious receives it, accepts it, and begins arranging circumstances to make it true. You suddenly encounter setbacks, expenses appear out of nowhere, opportunities seem to slip through your fingers, all because the invisible pen wrote those words into your script, and the mind, loyal to its orders, followed them without hesitation. But the same power works in your favor when you choose to write differently. When you speak words like, "I prosper in all I do," "Money comes to me in expected and unexpected ways," "I am rich in supply," the subconscious once again records them faithfully. And then unseen currents shift. Ideas begin to surface, people appear who can help you, opportunities align themselves, and money flows from avenues you never considered. The invisible pen wrote abundance, and the story unfolds accordingly. This is why careless speech is dangerous. Each idle complaint, each negative statement, each fearful declaration is a line written in invisible ink across your financial destiny. You may laugh as you say, "I'm broke," or "money just slips through my hands." But the subconscious does not laugh, it obeys. The pen has no humor. It simply writes, and your life performs what has been written. Imagine your words as daily entries in the ledger of your wealth. Every time you speak, you are either recording a deficit or a deposit. Which one are you writing when you say, "I can't afford this"? You are recording a deficit. When you declare, "I am always supplied," you are making a deposit. Over time, the balance reflects the sum of what you have spoken. So guard your tongue as you would guard a priceless fount, in pen writing the most important book of your life, because that is exactly what it is. Use it deliberately. Write wealth, not lack. Write freedom, not bondage. Write abundance, not struggle. Every sentence matters. Every declaration counts. Every line builds the story. Speak today with intention, and you will find that tomorrow reads like a masterpiece. The invisible pen of your tongue is writing even now, so let it inscribe a story of prosperity so rich, so overflowing, that generations after you will still be blessed by the words you chose to write. The words most people speak about money are often the very chains that keep them bound to struggle. Phrases like, "I can't afford it," "Money is hard to come by," "I'll never get out of debt," are not just harmless expressions of frustration. They are commands spoken into the law of life. Every time such words are repeated, they deepen the grooves of limitation in the subconscious mind, and life obediently echoes them back in experience. If you are always saying money is scarce, do not be surprised when scarcity shows up faithfully at your door. But the moment you recognize the destructive nature of limiting money talk, you hold the power to change it. For words of lack can always be replaced by words of abundance, just as weeds can always be pulled up and replaced by flowers. When you catch yourself saying, "I can't afford it," stop immediately and substitute, "Money always finds its way to me for the things I need." When you hear yourself sigh, "There's never enough," replace it with, "My supply is endless and ever increasing." Each substitution is like uprooting a weed and planting a seed of prosperity in its place. This practice is not mere positive thinking. It is spiritual alignment. Life responds to the vibrations of your words. Complaining carries the vibration of lack, and it multiplies lack. Declaring abundance carries the vibration of wealth, and it multiplies wealth. With every replacement, You shift your energy from poverty to prosperity, from fear to faith. Think of your speech as a constant current flowing through the river of your life. Limiting talk places rocks and blockages in the current, slowing down the flow of money and opportunity. But affirmations of wealth clear the river, allowing supply to rush toward you unhindered. Each time you replace a word of lack with a declaration of abundance, you remove a stone from the riverbed and the current grows stronger. Do not underestimate the subtle ways limiting talk hides itself. Phrases like easy come, easy go, or money doesn't grow on trees sound harmless, even humorous, but they carry seeds of scarcity. They implant the idea that money is fleeting or unnatural, when in truth, money is as abundant as air, always circulating, always replenishing, always flowing toward those aligned with its energy. Replace these sayings with, money comes easily and stays with me, or money grows wherever I plant it. The secret is vigilance. You must listen to your own words as if listening to a powerful decree. Each sentence about money is a law unto itself. If you do not like the laws you have been living under, rewrite them with your tongue. Refuse to speak lack even when lack seems to stare you in the face. Speak abundance until abundance answers. Replace every limitation with declaration until your speech is saturated with wealth. In time, you will find that your life changes to match the new words you have chosen. Bills will be paid with ease, opportunities will come from unexpected directions, and money will flow with a rhythm that feels effortless. Why? Because you uprooted the weeds of limiting talk and replaced them with the seeds of prosperity. Your tongue holds the power of life and death over your finances. Use it wisely. When the old phrases rise up, I'll never have enough. Money is too hard to keep. Silence them and replace them with words that create a brighter future. I live in overflow. My money grows daily. I am richly supplied. Say it until it becomes natural, until it feels true, until it is true. For words are not idle. They are builders. They are creators. They are the unseen architects of your money story. Replace limiting money talk, and you will replace limitation itself with freedom, struggle with ease, scarcity with overflowing abundance. The human mind does not tolerate a vacuum. When one thought leaves, another takes its place. When one word is silenced, another rises to fill the space. This is the reason why attempting to simply stop negative speech or silence words of lack is not enough. They must be replaced, and this is where the law of substitution reveals its power. Every destructive word can be exchanged for a constructive one. Every utterance of lack can be transformed into a declaration of abundance. Every phrase of fear can be transmuted into a decree of faith. Think of it like this. If a dark room troubles you, you cannot chase out the darkness with your hands. You cannot sweep it away or scold it into leaving. The only way to remove darkness is to substitute it with light. The moment the lamp is lit, the shadows vanish on their own. In the same way, you cannot banish words of poverty by force. You must replace them with words of wealth until the language of abundance shines so brightly that lack no longer has room to exist. When you say, I am drowning in bills, the law of substitution invites you to instantly replace it with, every bill is paid with ease and on time. When you find yourself sighing, money never lasts. The law instructs you to affirm instead, my money multiplies and grows. Each time the old language of fear arises, you do not fight it. You do not wrestle with it. You simply substitute it with a statement of prosperity. And in time, the new language takes root, grows stronger, and begins to manifest in the experiences of your life. The law of substitution is not only a practice of discipline, it is a practice of creation. With each substitution, you are rewriting the script of your subconscious. The mind learns by repetition, and when you repeat words of abundance in place of words of lack, you are reprogramming the inner dialogue that has quietly shaped your finances for years. Eventually, the new declarations become natural, automatic, and effortless. You will find that phrases like, I am always provided for, flow more easily than I can't afford it. Your new language becomes your new nature, and your new nature draws forth a new financial reality. Consider also how the law of substitution works in moments of great pressure. Perhaps you are facing a looming payment or an unexpected expense. The first impulse may be to cry, "I don't know how I'll manage." But if you pause and practice the substitution, you say instead, "The money I need appears for me in perfect time." In that instant, you have redirected your energy, rewritten your story, and sent forth a new decree into the unseen. Instead of strengthening fear, you have strengthened faith. Instead of summoning lack, you have summoned supply. The remarkable thing is that this law always works, whether you are conscious of it or not. If you do not choose to substitute fear with faith, the old words remain, and their echo continues to return. But if you deliberately replace them, even when your feelings lag behind, the new declarations begin their work. And with persistence, the outer world bends to match the inner speech. It is not about pretending problems don't exist. It is about refusing to give them energy by repeating their story. The law of substitution does not ask you to deny reality. It invites you to create a greater one with your words. For what you continually affirm will eventually overtake what you temporarily see. Therefore, train your tongue to be swift in substitution. Let no phrase of lack escape unchecked. Correct yourself gently, but firmly, each time. Make it a game, a practice, a discipline of joy. Soon, your speech will be so filled with words of wealth that the old language of limitation will sound strange and foreign to your ears. Remember this truth. You cannot speak lack and live in abundance. You cannot declare defeat and walk in victory. But through the law of substitution, you can rewrite every sentence of your money story. And when you do, the narrative of your life transforms from scarcity to sufficiency, from worry to wonder, from poverty to prosperity. The most powerful words you will ever speak are the words that follow "I am." Those two little words are the doorway through which identity enters your life. When you declare, "I am broke," "I am unlucky," or "I am always struggling with money," you are not simply describing a temporary condition. You are attaching lack to your very selfhood. You are declaring it as your identity, and life, ever faithful to the words you speak, begins to shape circumstances to prove your declaration true. But the moment you shift your language, the moment you dare to speak with boldness, "I am wealthy," "I am prosperous," "I am richly supplied," you claim a new identity. Your words pull you out of the story of lack and place you into the story of abundance. Identity is not about what you see now. It is about what you choose to believe and affirm about yourself. And as surely as a seed becomes a tree, what you declare about your identity becomes the reality of your life. Words are not descriptions, they are decrees. When you say, "I am successful," even when appearances suggest otherwise, you are writing success into your character, engraving it upon your subconscious mind, and sending it forth into the unseen. The world begins to rearrange itself to match the person you have declared yourself to be. Identity always precedes experience. Who you say you are determines what life delivers to you. Consider how easily people chain themselves with careless speech. They laugh and say, "I'm just bad with money," or "I'm always broke." These words, repeated often enough, sink into the subconscious like ink into paper. Soon they are no longer jokes, they are self-fulfilling prophecies. The subconscious mind accepts the identity you speak, and the outer world mirrors it without question. But the same law works in your favor when you reverse it. If you consistently declare, "I am disciplined with money," "I am guided to prosperity," "I am a magnet for wealth," your subconscious reshapes itself around this identity, and life conforms to your new decree. This is why affirmations hold such power. They are not empty repetitions. They are identity statements. Every time you say, "I am wealthy," you are chiseling a new self-image. You are teaching your subconscious who you are, and once it accepts the identity, your actions, decisions, and opportunities will align with it. You will think differently, carry yourself differently, attract differently, because you are no longer the person who identifies with lack. You have become the person who lives in abundance. Do not wait until the outer world shows you wealth before declaring it. Identity is always spoken in advance. The seed declares itself a tree long before the branches appear. The river declares itself flowing long before it reaches the ocean. And you must declare yourself wealthy long before the bank account reflects it. Speak it now, and the outer will rise to match the inner. Let your I am statements be filled with the language of prosperity. I am worthy of wealth. I am guided to success. I am richly supplied. I am abundance itself. Repeat them until they are carved so deeply in your being that doubt has no place to stand. Each declaration reshapes your self-concept, and your self-concept sets the boundaries of your financial life. Your words are not idle. They are identity, and your identity is the root from which every experience grows. Speak lack, and lack becomes your name. Speak abundance, and abundance crowns you as its own. Choose today to declare who you truly are, not by the evidence of the moment, but by the truth of your divine inheritance. For the words you speak about yourself are not mere sounds. They are the very blueprint of your destiny. Words alone carry power, but words infused with faith become forces of creation. A sentence spoken without belief may flutter weakly and fade, but a declaration charged with faith, spoken with conviction, carries the magnetic energy that draws to you exactly what you have affirmed. Faith is the electricity that lights the lamp of your words. Without it, your affirmations are like lifeless seeds scattered on barren ground. With it, they become living seeds that sprout, grow, and multiply until they fill your life with the harvest of abundance. When you declare, I am wealthy, money flows to me with ease, I prosper in all I do. But you carry no faith. You are like one who plants a seed and then digs it up the next day to see if it has grown. Doubt disrupts the process, but when you speak the same words with faith, faith that they are true now, faith that they are backed by an unseen supply, faith that life is already aligning with your declaration, then your words become magnets. They radiate an energy that draws resources, opportunities, and people into your orbit, each carrying pieces of the prosperity you have called forth. Faith is not wishful thinking, it is certainty. It is the deep knowing that your words are creative law, not idle chatter. It is the unshakable confidence that what you decree must come to pass, even if appearances temporarily suggest the opposite. Faith ignores the evidence of lack and clings to the evidence of the unseen. It says, though I do not see the money yet, it is already mine. Though the door looks closed, it is already open in the invisible. Though the bank account looks empty, abundance is already rushing to fill it. Words spoken with this kind of faith create an irresistible vibration. Imagine them as signals sent into the atmosphere. Doubt sends out a weak, static, filled signal that fades before it reaches its destination. Faith, however, sends out a strong, clear broadcast that travels far and wide, summoning the right connections, circumstances, and ideas back to you. Faith-filled words declare wealth, and life rushes to answer with wealth. This is why gratitude strengthens the magnetism of your words. When you give thanks for the money you have, and even for the money that is on its way, you are adding the substance of faith to your declaration. Gratitude says, it is already done, and I rejoice in it now. Such words are irresistible to the universe. They demand a response. The magnet becomes stronger, the current more powerful, the attraction more swift. It is also why consistency is crucial. One declaration of faith creates a spark, but consistent declarations create a fire. To speak wealth once and then fall back into complaint weakens the magnet. But to speak wealth daily, to affirm prosperity repeatedly, to back every word with faith, this is how you generate an energy so strong that nothing can resist it. Over time, the magnetic force of your words will draw abundance to you with such precision and power that you will look back in awe at how life rearranged itself in your favor. Never forget that words are not just sounds, they are commands. And when spoken with faith, they are laws. Say with certainty, money flows to me now. I live in abundance now. I am prosperous now. Say it until your voice vibrates with conviction, until your heart burns with belief, until your entire being radiates the truth of your words. When spoken in this way, your words cannot fail, for they are charged with the magnetic force of faith, and that force moves heaven and earth to bring your declaration to pass. Faith-filled words are your greatest wealth-creating tool. They summon what is unseen into what is seen. They pull the invisible into the visible. They transform desire into possession. Speak them boldly, speak them daily, speak them as law, and watch as money, opportunities, and abundance are drawn into your life as surely as a magnet pulls iron. For the one who fills their words with faith has discovered the greatest secret of prosperity. Life cannot resist the decree of a tongue on fire with belief. Gratitude is more than a feeling tucked silently in the heart. It is a force that multiplies when released through the spoken word. To feel thankful is to open the door. To speak thankfulness is to invite abundance to walk through it. The words of gratitude, voiced aloud with sincerity, ring out like a bell that echoes into the unseen and summons wealth from every corner of life. When you say, "Thank you for the money I have, thank you for the supply on its way, thank you for the opportunities that open before me," you are declaring yourself already blessed, already provided for, already abundant. Life, which always mirrors your declarations, must then increase the supply, expand the blessings, and multiply the opportunities. Gratitude is not passive. It is an amplifier. It takes what you have and magnifies it, and it takes what you desire and draws it closer. Many people speak words of lack without realizing it. They say, "I never have enough. I wish things were better. I can't afford this or that." Such words only echo scarcity and keep the vibration of poverty alive. But gratitude breaks this cycle. The moment you say, "I am grateful for the money that flows to me. I am grateful for every resource. I am grateful for the wealth unfolding now," you shift the energy. Instead of reinforcing lack, you are amplifying abundance. Gratitude, spoken aloud, tells life, "I recognize the good. I expect more good, and I welcome it with joy." Spoken gratitude is also a declaration of faith. It says, "Even if I do not see the full harvest yet, I give thanks as if it is already here." This activates the law of increase, for whatever you give thanks for expands. Thankfulness for $1 prepares the way for 10. Thankfulness for 10 prepares the way for 100. Gratitude for small beginnings prepares the way for overflowing prosperity. Words of complaint close doors, but words of gratitude fling them wide open, allowing supply to rush in. When you speak gratitude daily, you are tuning your mind to the frequency of wealth. You become alert to opportunities you once overlooked. You see doors where before you only saw walls. You attract people who carry blessings because your vibration resonates with abundance. Spoken gratitude reshapes your inner world, and the outer world must follow. There is also power in giving thanks in advance. To say, "Thank you for the wealth on its way. Thank you for the financial freedom unfolding now. Thank you for the prosperity that surrounds me," is to claim your good before it arrives. It is to send a signal into the unseen that you are ready, willing, and expectant. Such words are not wishful thinking. They are magnetic decrees. Life cannot resist responding to a heart and tongue aligned in grateful expectation. Make gratitude the language of your day. Speak it in the morning when you rise. Speak it in the evening before you rest. Speak it over every bill, every transaction, every coin and note in your possession. Say, "I am grateful that money flows freely. I am grateful that I always have more than enough. I am grateful that prosperity is my birthright." These words, spoken consistently, will multiply your wealth consciousness, and your wealth consciousness will multiply your supply. Remember this truth: gratitude is the voice that unlocks multiplication. Silent gratitude blesses the heart, but spoken gratitude amplifies wealth. Let your tongue be an instrument of thanksgiving, and you will find that life, in turn, becomes an instrument of abundance, echoing back to you every thankful word in multiplied form. There is a hidden power in the words you do not speak. Too often people imagine that only the words they utter in affirmation matter, but every complaint, every murmur, every negative declaration carries weight as well. Complaint is the language of lack. It is the voice of dissatisfaction that magnifies what is wrong and blinds you to what is right. Each time you complain, you rehearse poverty, you echo limitation, and you fortify the very walls that keep abundance from flowing freely. Complaint is like planting weeds in the garden of your financial life. Soon they choke out the flowers of prosperity you had hoped to grow. Yet silence holds a very different energy. Silence is not weakness, it is restraint. It is the wise refusal to give voice to words that would harm your prosperity. Silence creates space. Where complaint carves ruts of negativity, silence leaves room for possibility. When you cannot yet bring yourself to affirm wealth, at least hold your tongue from affirming lack. Silence is a bridge between despair and declaration. It is the neutral ground where your energy can gather strength before you speak words of power. There is a spiritual law at work. What you continually speak about grows larger in your life. Complain about bills, and bills multiply. Complain about debt, and debt deepens. Complain about what you lack, and lack spreads its shadow wider. But when you choose silence instead of complaint, you break the pattern. You stop feeding energy to the very conditions you wanted to solve. And in that sacred pause, you reclaim your creative authority. Silence is not empty. It is filled with potential. It is the waiting ground where your mind can shift from resentment to gratitude, from frustration to faith. A moment of silence allows you to catch the runaway thought before it slips into a destructive word. In that pause, you can choose again. You can say, "No, I will not speak lack. I will not complain. I will remain still until I can speak words of abundance." That choice alone changes everything. When silence is chosen over complaint, your energy begins to rise. Instead of reinforcing problems, you begin to create solutions. Instead of magnifying what is wrong, you leave space for what is right to appear. And soon, silence transforms into affirmation. Out of the stillness emerges the strength to say, "I am provided for. I am prosperous. Money flows to me in ever-increasing ways." These words carry more weight because they are spoken from intention, not reaction. Complaint is easy, but it is costly. Silence is difficult, but it is powerful. Every time you resist the urge to complain, you preserve the creative power of your tongue for declarations that build, not destroy. Every time you choose silence, you are in fact choosing abundance, because you are refusing to give your energy to poverty. Remember this truth. You are always either blessing or cursing your financial life with your words. If you cannot bless it, be silent. If you cannot affirm abundance, at least refuse to affirm lack. Let silence guard your wealth until gratitude and prosperity become the language of your tongue. For in the battle between silence and complaint, silence is always the higher ground, and it leads you straight into the language of abundance. Every day you rise, you step into the story you have been writing with your words. Each morning greets you with the chance to either repeat yesterday's tale of struggle and lack, or to author a new chapter of prosperity and supply. The money story you live is not written once and sealed forever. It is written daily in the phrases you speak, the thoughts you repeat, and the declarations you dare to make. Some people live the same story of limitation over and over again because they speak it over and over again. They wake up saying, "I can't afford this. Money is always tight. Things never work out for me." Their words lock them into a cycle, and life simply echoes back the same scarcity in new disguises. But you are not bound to yesterday's chapter. Each dawn places the pen back in your hand, and the sentences you choose will become the script of your day. Living your money story daily means guarding your words with intention. It means choosing not to let complaints set the tone, but instead beginning the day with gratitude and prosperity declarations. It means speaking wealth into your coffee, blessing abundance over your work, affirming financial flow in your conversations. Each spoken word is like a brushstroke painting the canvas of your financial reality. When you consistently choose words of abundance, you paint a masterpiece of prosperity that grows brighter with every day. Consistency is the secret. One powerful declaration may light a spark, but repeated declarations build a flame that cannot be extinguished. To say once, "I am prosperous," may feel good, but to say it daily, to affirm it when you rise and when you rest, is to engrave prosperity into your identity. Soon, it becomes natural, automatic, effortless, the story you live without effort because it has become who you are. Living your money story daily also means refusing to rehearse lack in casual talk. How many times do people say, "I'm broke," or "I never have enough," as jokes, only to reinforce poverty without realizing it? Every such phrase is a line in the story. When you stop giving voice to lack, you stop giving it life. Instead, you live your story by replacing those words with declarations like, "I always have more than enough, money flows easily, my supply is endless." These words, spoken consistently, create a rhythm that life cannot ignore. To live your money story daily is to carry prosperity into action as well. Words alone are powerful, but when your actions align with your declarations, the effect multiplies. If you declare abundance but spend recklessly from fear, you weaken your story. But if you declare abundance and then handle money with gratitude, wisdom, and confidence, you reinforce your prosperity. Your daily living becomes a testimony of the words you speak. The truth is, every day is a page, and every page builds the book of your financial life. Yesterday's words may have written a story of struggle, but today's words can write a story of freedom. Tomorrow's words can expand it into a story of overflow. No story is fixed. It is rewritten daily, and your tongue holds the pen. So speak with intention, speak with faith, speak with gratitude. Let each day be a chapter of prosperity, and soon your money story will not just be something you affirm, it will be the life you live. For the one who chooses their words carefully, consistently, and courageously will find that abundance is not a distant hope but a daily reality.